Hello and welcome to this next review of mine. It is the Z7 Ultra Smartwatch. Now this smartwatch is designed to be a copy or a clone of the Samsung Galaxy Ultra watch. So this is a cheap Chinese knockoff of the Samsung Galaxy watch. So you need to know that up front. But if you don't know my reviews or haven't seen them, then know that I'm going to go show you what comes out of the box right here and then charge it up and then go wear this for several days and come back with a full, fair, and unbiased review. I bought this smartwatch with my own money, and by my money, I mean your money. The money generated from my YouTube channel, from my viewers and subscribers. That generates a little bit of ad revenue, and then I therefore invest that back in the channel by buying health and fitness related gizmos and gadgets and smartwatches and smart rings and anything that's loosely health and fitness related. This will have a magnetic charging base that it will sit on. This is the watch itself, and just looking here, and I'll zoom in a second, it looks like a pretty close clone. Okay, here I see what look like 4 screws holding on a plastic back case. So I'm guessing the real Samsung Ultra is designed much better than that. Let's see if there is a protective cover on the sensors here. There is. I will peel that off screen, but I can feel it loosening up here. There's a quality control sticker that I'll peel off. So this will sit on the charger thusly. It has a choice of 2 different wristbands, it looks like. 2 silicone wristbands and the instruction sheet. And if I just open this up, this print looks very, very small. So I'll go get this all figured out, charge this guy up, and come back with my full, fair, honest thoughts in just a few seconds through the magic of editing. Let's peel that protective cover off, and let me press the top right button to see if that makes it come to life. Nothing is happening there. Let me press the middle crown button to see if that makes it come to life. Doesn't seem like anything there. And then there's a bottom right button. Let me press that and see if that makes it come to life. And yes, there, now the screen is waking up. You see a big display here that looks pretty clear, I would say. Maybe a little grainy where the numbers are. Let me press and hold to see if I can change that. You know, I need to figure out the menu system here, figure out how this all works. But it looks like it's going to have a music controller. It'll track sleep, steps, SpO2, heart rate in beats per minute. No, blood pressure. That'd be blood pressure, and then heart rate in beats per minute, and some other things. But yeah, let me go learn it all, and then come back with my full, fair, and honest review. We're going to do this video in a slightly different order than what I usually do. We're going to jump right into the app, and then we'll go back to the watch. I've been wearing it for several days, and it is an awesome looking smartwatch. And from a distance, even close up, it's really difficult to tell the difference between this and the Samsung watch. But let's go to the app. Right at the beginning, it gives you your sleep tracking information for today and previous days. It gives you your total sleep, your light sleep, your deep sleep, your awake time, and the time you went to bed. So basically the time you went to bed, the time you woke up, awake times, and you can scroll back over the previous days and see your sleep records for that. So that's all pretty decent. It gives me my heart rate, and this is my track over the course of the day, and you can change the time interval and how often you want it to take these measurements. I have it set for I think every 30 minutes. And then you can look at your track over previous days as well. So that is all pretty cool, and it will actually, it's somewhere, gives you your minimum and your maximum and your average. Maybe that's on the watch itself. Here is your blood pressure, temporarily no data, but you can take blood pressure here if you so desire. All right. And then it gives you your sports breakdown here. And if I click on previous records, here's some walking I did, a hike I did the other day. It was a total of 5.3 miles. an hour and 32 minutes, and it gives me my maximum heart rate, my minimum heart rate, my average heart rate, my number of steps for the day, an estimate of kilocalorie burn. That's all pretty cool. Happy with all of that. Let's go back. Oh, I should say, if you want to tether the watch with your phone and get location services from your phone, you can do that to get better distance tracking and mapping and whatnot for outdoor running, fitness, walking, bike riding, climbing, indoor running. Okay, you can do all of these, but it's not a GPS watch. It would have to get location services from your phone. Blood oxygen saturation, you can go back at previous days and look at your records here, and that seems pretty decent. Blood glucose and temperature monitoring. Now, huge caveat here, this is not a medical device. You should not treat these numbers as medical data because it's just not. But it does give you numbers for these. They're for reference only. Go see a real doctor if you're interested in these measurements. But my personal opinion is, even though they're probably wrong, it's nice to monitor trends and look for deviation. So if you see something radically different, then you know to go see a real doctor and have the real measurement made. So that's the big caveat out of the way. I'm not a doctor. I can't give medical advice. So interpret these numbers however you want, but it is not a medical device. And then an MET score. You can go into the device settings here, and here you see it's the Z7 Ultra. You have various watch faces here that you can use and change to. There's a lot in here, and odds are you're going to find one you like. Because they're all, well, I won't say they're all good, but there's a lot of good ones in here. Sometimes these apps and watches give you a whole bunch of clunkers for watch faces. This one seems to give you mostly good ones, if you know what I mean. So you have that. You can set up your notifications. You can set it up to take phone calls through your watch. It is a speakerphone when tethered via Bluetooth. It takes calls, and you can adjust the volume and hit mute, and it works well. I made a call with it, and it works well. Again, you have to be tethered via your phone via Bluetooth and be within range of your phone, but you can make and take calls right from the watch. SMS messages, QQ, WeChat, WhatsApp. You could turn all of these on if you wish. Twitter, X, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. You can turn all of this on to get those notifications pushed to your watch when tethered to your phone via Bluetooth. Find your device, sedentary lifestyle reminder. You can set on and off times in the morning and the evening to remind you to get up and walk and move. I have not used that feature. Same with drinking. It reminds you to drink water. And, you know, vibration and screen illumination. For reminders and whatnot, I have it set to both vibrate and light the screen up. You have alarm clocks, okay. Motion gesture, you can have it light up and the screen come on when you lift your wrist. I usually turn that off to save battery life. Here is where you can change the screen illumination time, so when you have the display come on, it will define how long it comes on. And look at this, continuous screen illumination. So this does have always on display as an option. Sorry. Heart rate monitoring, and here you can turn it on or off, and again set a beginning time in the morning and an ending time at night. And here I've set the interval to every 30 minutes. This is where you would set that interval that I spoke about earlier. Blood glucose monitoring, same thing. You can turn it on automatic and then set the beginning time during the day and the ending time, and then the interval you want these measurements taken. Do not disturb. You can upgrade your firmware. You can push the weather from your phone to the watch. Okay, and that's about it for that. Personal information. There's the QR code for QR code management. There we go. User manual, video tutorials. I've not used those, but you get the drift here, folks. So it's RD Fit. I like the app. Now let's stop and go back and take a look at the watch. So I think this is an absolutely beautiful display and a beautiful design. It looks, like I said, just like the Samsung watch. It's got the built-in speaker and microphones there. It's got 3 buttons here, one in the middle with a crown, one on the top, one in the bottom. We'll talk about more about that in a minute. But this display is a 360 by 360 pixel display. It's an AMOLED display, and it's a 1.46 inch round display. So very, very nice. And I think it's beautiful. Now, you saw me previously turn this on, so the always on display is on right now. You swipe up, you get your messages, and here I sent a test message to myself. This works just fine when tethered via Bluetooth. If I swipe down, I can get into some settings. I can get in the brightness settings. There's my battery life remaining. Here's where you would tether Bluetooth on and off or toggle it on and off. Here's where you get to your compass. It's got a built-in compass. That's kind of neat. And some other features here. And here's your information button. There you have it, the Z7 Ultra. All right, let's scroll back, go to the main screen. Now, I have this set up that when I turn it on with the middle button, yep, and I hit the top right one, it'll go in the compass mode. But it will let me redefine what happens when I press that button. So keep that in mind. Right now, I have the bottom one set so it will turn the display off. If we swipe from right to left, we get our heart rate, and it knows it's not on my wrist, so it's not going to take that measurement. Let me go back, heart rate. Here is my weather pulled in from my smartphone for the next few days. My blood pressure, my blood oxygen saturation, SpO2. Again, it knows I'm not wearing it, so it's not attempting to take that measurement. All right, there's my sleep for the previous night. Whoops, where did it go? My sleep for the previous night, 8 hours and 44 minutes, my deep sleep and my light sleep, and now we scrolled back to the beginning. Now, if I push that middle button again, this gets me to the menu, and everything else is in here. Now, here's where I would take my temperature. All right, here's that compass feature. There's a lot of settings. I'm not going to go through every one of them, but you will get the idea. Here is where you would do the dialing pad and make phone calls from the device. Here are your alarms. I have no alarm set. You can get into settings here, and you can turn on and off the dynamic island. Screen off time, you can set it here. Your brightness, always on settings. All right, you can change them here. Key definition, here is where you would define what happens when you press various buttons and keys, okay? Gesture, this is lift your wrist to turn on the display function. Gesture control, this is if you're wearing it and you get a call, you can do a motion like that to answer calls, which is pretty neat. Vibration intensity, do not disturb, password, language, settings. It's got a number of different languages in here. Time settings, so sync with the app. Here you could turn that off, and this is one of the rare devices where you can set the time right on the smartwatch itself. Most of these watches, it pulls the time from your smartphone. This one, you can actually set the time just on the watch itself and then decide whether you want 12 or 24-hour time. All right, that is the most common question asked on my smartwatch review videos is how do I set the time? And I'll say 90% of the time, the answer is sync it with your phone. But on this one, this is where you would set the time in the menu system here. Connect the phone, emergency, SOS, contact, Bluetooth call. There's another SOS feature that I'll show you, but you can reboot it, turn it off, and there's the about. All right, so we go back to this menu. Here is my heart rate. Okay, let's get back. Come on. Mama needs new shoes. Let's go back. We went through the alarms. There are some games on here. I don't play games on a smartwatch, but there's Floppy Bird or Flappy Bird, whatever that said. Here is where you would get to your messages. And when you have messages, you can just delete them right on the watch. Here is, I believe that's 28-day cycle tracking. All right, this is Find Your Phone. All right. And my phone is actually ringing and beeping off screen here. Here is where you can get to your calendar, your contacts. I have not synced my contacts to this particular smartwatch. Here is my blood glucose in millimoles per liter. Again, it knows it's not on my wrist. some settings, your sleep, and you can get Facebook messages. You can get, you know, a bunch of other stuff in here. So that is the main stuff. It's got a calculator. You can get stuff from Twitter, X, and you kind of get the drift here. Here are your sports modes: running, walking, football, badminton, tennis, basketball, ping pong, swimming. So that is the watch. It's the Z7 Ultra Smartwatch. It does continuous heart rate, sleep tracking, blood pressure, blood glucose. In terms of waterproof, all this says is quote-unquote life waterproof, and I don't know what that means. They did not give me an IP rating, so I cannot vouch for how waterproof this watch is. It does have kind of a plastic case with screws holding that in. I assume there's a rubber gasket around there actually making it waterproof, but I do not know. So contact the manufacturer or the vendor to check out the waterproof nature of this thing. Right now, this guy is selling on AliExpress, for, get this folks, $16.47, which I think is an absolutely amazing deal. I will drop a link below. Go check it out. It's the Z7 Ultra Smartwatch, made to look like that very, very popular new Samsung smartwatch. I think it looks really good on the wrist. For the money, less than 17 bucks, I would say this is an awesome deal. Go check it out. Be sure to check out my smartwatch and fitness tracker playlist on YouTube. Like this video, share it, subscribe. This channel is primarily about kayaking and my kayaking adventures, but I do these smartwatch and tech reviews just to help pay the bills around here. And hey, my viewers actually like this a lot, so I consider it a nice little service that I do for people. And let me show you that last little thing from the main screen. If I swipe from left to right, it will control the music from your phone. There's your today's steps, your sleep. It gives you a little summary, your heart rate, blood pressure, SpO2, and your common applications here. So go check it out at the link below. And until next time, stay healthy, stay fit, and I'll be back with you very, very soon with a fresh review.